Hi everybody, welcome to the next video by the Catholic Patriot. Today I'm going to go over the beginning of a series about the local government. So local government part 1, and today we'll be talking about the town or township, depending on which state you're in. They have, each state has their own name for it, I guess, and I think a couple of states, maybe like Louisiana, Pennsylvania, may have different terms for it as well. So I just did some research on this, and this is what I found. So, what is a township, and what offices are there in the township? I'm going to use Wisconsin as an example just because I used to live there, so I'm more familiar with that. So, a town or township is a unit of local government within the county, and it's the closest government to the people. It's usually in a more rural area. Um, So the people have a lot of say in how the town is run. The township governance is dictated by whatever state and their charters and constitutions, laws, regulations that they might have. So you'll have to look into your own state to figure out how everything works there, or to the state that you want to move in. Um, the legislators or elected officials can vary depending on location. Again, it's up to the states. But most of the time they are called overseers, supervisors, or town board. And then there's a clerk, a treasurer. Sometimes they combine the two, again, depending on the state. And some will have a constable as well. There may be other positions depending on the state, and there's also some provisions for deputies to each of these positions. At this level, it is not run as on a partisan basis, so you are not asked to disclose your political identity. You're running on ideas, as it should be. So that's kind of a neat thing. And you are, if you run for office and get elected, you are compensated for your time, again, depending on the state. Some choose by an annual salary, some do days worked, or I believe I also read that sometimes it's just the amount of time that it takes to perform your duties. So, some years might be more intensive than others, or some time of the year might be more intensive than others. So maybe to cut costs, you could pay, by the time worked rather than an annual salary. The amounts are determined by the board, and I believe that they have to hold town meetings about those, so the public can be part of that and be part of the vote. But again, it'll vary, but it's good to know. And so many of us don't want to take part in this because it's an inconvenience to give up an evening of your time, or a Saturday to go to a town hall meeting or a board meeting. But if we're going to start making things better at our local level, we really have to start getting more involved and taking part in this. So what do these offices do? The board, each position is obviously going to have a little different um, duty or mandate that they are responsible for. But the board um, approves and requisitions money for some of the roads and their maintenance, bridges, that kind of thing, highways within the township. They can approve taxes. I believe it's property taxes that they approve. And so they also can have another office as the property assessor. They They calculate the taxes based off of the assessed value of the land in the town or township. They are responsible for administering the town elections, fire protection, ambulance service, usually garbage and recycling services, and then there are some others. Sometimes they have a law enforcement branch depending on the size and area. So now you're there, you want to run for office for a town or township. So how do you go about that? There are forms that you need to fill out and file. I think they can be found online for some counties, but otherwise you'd have to pick them up from the county clerk or the town clerk, or maybe a library or other governmental business might have them too. I'm not positive about that. But you usually have to turn them into the town clerk. Again, the positions are nonpartisan. The papers include several forms, and I found some guides online for some of the counties in Wisconsin. So I'm not sure if everybody does it or if only some places do it. You'd have to look. But if you get the papers early enough, you should be able to do whatever research and get the help you need to finish things up in time. You should plan for some expenses. I don't know if there's a fee to file um, for running for one of the offices or not. Um, you can, at least in Wisconsin, accept some donations to a degree, but it's regulated and you have to be careful about who and how much and when and where it goes and all that other stuff. So, to be completely independent and to show that you're independent, my personal preference would be to pay for everything on my own. So I'd want to save up, and all those expenses could be brochures, could be flyers, could be whatever. There are some things. Another general rule, at least in Wisconsin, is that anybody and everybody can sign up or declare a candidacy. But if there are more than two for a position, they have a runoff election to get it down to two candidates, and then they have the regular election. So, just some general ideas that I came up with for starting a campaign for any of these offices is, first, know your town. Get out, take time once you move to somewhere, or while you're in the process of moving there, to really get to know it. What businesses drive it? What's the economy like? What's the cost of living like? What are the expenses that the town has? Are they being too frugal, or are they spending too much? Are they spending it in the right places? How much does the cronyism, or look into those types of things. Meet with the locals at local events. You can walk down the road and talk to your neighbors. You can go to maybe there's a fair or a fireworks show or baseball games, football games, whatever. Attend town halls. Find out what's important to the others around you, and you'll be able to better formulate a plan going forward. Another idea I had was to, once you have a good grasp of what the town does, to look at the town publication. And a lot of times I believe you can write letters to the editors of a paper or publication. And I don't know what it takes to get those published, but I know you can have them published. So you could maybe start, a year before you plan to run, and kind of float some of your ideas out there and see what kind of feedback you get. Again, to my point earlier, is to save up enough money to run a campaign without the donations. Then you can't be accused of bribery or or having somebody else's interests instead of your own. Some of the things that you might need would be like flyers or emails, ads in the local paper, maybe signs, depending on how big your township is. Um, Potential filing fees, maybe a website fee if you want to go that route. So just some things to think about, but definitely I'd save up and try and do that on your own. Another thing I thought of is maybe to run a background check and an internet reputation search to find out if there's anything in your past that you may have forgotten. Um, sometimes you forget about a parking ticket, or maybe you didn't pay a fine on time, or maybe you did something dumb on the internet. Whatever the case may be, you can use those tools to find out, what might be out there, what could be used against you, and so you can own up to your mistakes and show, you know, this is maybe who I was, this is what I've done to correct those faults, and this is who I am now. And then you're transparent, and nothing they can say later is going to surprise you or embarrass you or cause issues for you. So I think those are pretty cheap to do, so might just be worth doing. And again, get out, meet people, talk, and see if you can win them over to your ideas. Are you spending too much on, garbage and recycling? Could you do it cheaper? Are you spending too much on the roads? Are the taxes too high? If you have those discussions with people, you may be able to win them over before you even start a campaign, and then you've already got a base of people who have seen what you're about, they've spoken to you, you're a real person to them, and I just think that that's a really good way to go, and I would appreciate it if somebody who was thinking about running for office would do that for me. Come to me, ask what's important to me, get to know me, get to know my thoughts. Maybe they don't agree with me, but maybe it'll give them something to think about. So, anyways, I will leave you guys with that. Just thoughts to ponder. And I'm hoping to do the city government next. And I know a guy who ran for mayor for a city in Wisconsin. So I'm hoping that I'll get a chance to maybe interview him and ask him about the process he went through and that sort of thing for the next video. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. All right. Thanks, guys, for your time. Hope some of this was helpful for you. And stay safe out there. God bless you. God bless the USA. And I will talk to you next time.